I'm Cliff, and this is my garage. And today we're going to take a look at the dust collection system on my combination table saw and router table. Hey, welcome back to the garage. And if this is your first time visiting me, thanks for dropping by. So, one of the most common questions I get all the time is about my dust collection system. I really hate sawdust. And one of the primary things I was after when I built my garage shop was dust control. So I invested in a nice cyclone dust collector and then spent a lot of time figuring out how to run piping and ducts and everything to get really good dust collection. So I thought we'd just go machine by machine. It's probably the easiest way. And we'll start with my combination table saw and router table and see how I did that, because it's kind of weird looking down under there. The system starts with the 6-inch drop off the 6-inch main duct that runs along the ceiling. It comes down into these connectors with a little bit of flex hose between them. The main reason for this is so that it makes it easy to take this apart if I have to. For instance, we have a hurricane coming at us potentially right now, and if I think there's a danger of flooding in the shop, I'll disconnect this, pick the whole thing up with a forklift, and put it up on some blocks to keep it above the water. Now, if I didn't have this in here, I would probably have to disassemble the entire duct system starting from the beginning, because it's all just too tight. These little flex sections give me flexibility, haha, in order to not have to do that. Underneath here we have two 45-degree elbows, and this makes a sort of a long sweep elbow in order to get good airflow. And the reason I did this is because true long sweep elbows are really, really expensive, and two 45s together work pretty much just as well and cost like a quarter as much. Once we come into the two 45-degree elbows, it goes into this custom fitting that I made. Basically, it's a 45-degree Y, 45 degrees going in each direction. I did this by taking two 45-degree elbows and cutting them in half and then gluing them back together, back to back. That fitting splits into two directions. On this side, there's a 45-degree elbow that goes into a custom blast gate I've built onto the back of my router box that's in the router table. And on this side, another 45-degree elbow that goes into another custom blast gate that leads to the table saw. On the router side, it's pretty simple. That 45-degree elbow just comes into the shop-made blast gate that's using magnetic switches and this blade for controlling opening and closing the router box. This is the router box. It's just made out of plywood, has a remote switch on the front to start and stop the router. Inside, you can see my Triton router mounted to a plate that's in the top of the table. And it's really pretty straightforward. I'm not sure if you can see the opening back here that's covered by the blast gate blade. Now there is a small opening here in the side that leads to this hose, which comes up and ties into my Incra fence for dust control in the fence itself. On the table saw side, this is the custom blast gate I've built. It uses a magnetic switch to control the dust collector. When I pull this blade out, it opens up the hole, and it also trips the circuit to turn the blast gate on. But here, I'll just show you how it works. Turns on, and then when I'm done, put it back in, and it turns back off. Once we come out of the blast gate, here's another one of those custom Y fittings. You can kind of see where I split the two and glued them together. And then they go in two different directions. This side goes to the front of the saw. This side goes to the back of the saw. And there's actually a third piece splitting off, and I'll show you that in a different view because you can't see it from this side. The front split comes around and connects to this tube, which is running underneath the front fence rail. The front tube has been slotted so that any dust being thrown off the blade forward tends to get sucked down in here, and especially if I'm standing right in front of it, and then my belly acts like a dust bouncer. It hits me and it gets sucked right down in there. The back side of the split feeds this curved pipe, which comes around and connects to the main dust collection port on the back of the saw. There is a third port coming into this fitting, and that's the small one that comes around, and it connects to the overarm dust collector. That connector continues on here, loops all the way around back and over, and then this flexible hose connects into the shroud dust collector. And the reason I've done it this way, this big loop, is that I can take my fence and I can reset it really all the way back to here. And that would give me, clearing this duct, about a 42-inch cut if I ever needed it. Okay, that's all there really is to it. This is all specifically built around my equipment. This is a 3-horsepower saw stop. I think it's called the Pro model. Not sure. One of the best investments I've ever made. I love this saw. I upgraded from a Grizzly 3-horsepower cabinet saw. The Grizzly's not bad, and it's a definite, I think, good value for the money, but the saw stop is a whole other level of nice. I really, really love this saw. The extension table and router, everything, all that stuff is just something I custom built for myself. It's a torsion box body on the table. And as you saw, the router is a Triton, another highly recommended product. I really love that router mounted inside the cabinet. And I used a Pinnacle plate. No, nothing really special there, but it is nice. Like I said, this was all custom built for these specific items, but the ideas can be easily adapted pretty much to any saw. So check it out. If you got any questions, feel free to ask me down in the comment section. If you want to continue seeing more of my equipment and how I've done the dust collection on them, send me a message or just make a comment down in the comment section below and let me know what you would like to see. The table saw is the one I get a lot of questions about. I also get a lot of questions about the miter saw, and I just installed a new one, so I'll be able to show you that. Just let me know what you guys want to do. Okay, well, that's it for today. As always, please go down there, find that thumbs up button, give us a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you do, make sure you click on that little bell icon, and that way YouTube will notify you every time that I post new content from here in Cliff's Garage. I'll see you next time.